The importance of hip hop in Filipino culture and Filipino history and stuff like that, the Filipino community.
It's important because when we're growing up, you know, middle school, high school, even in some college places, you know, we don't get the opportunity to learn about our Filipino history and our Filipino culture. In fact, when you know, we coordinate the Kababayan program here at Skyline College, and we always ask our students, how many of you guys know about your Filipino history or your Filipino culture? And on average, 1 or 2 hands raise their hands because they don't really get that type of education at their middle school, high school, you know. And you always hear it all the time that, you know, the contributions of Filipinos, Filipino Americans in history, you know, we only get a single paragraph or maybe a line or two. But, you know, so a lot of these stories aren't told. And with Filipinos in hip-hop, just being able to hear folks like Kiwi, like Blue Scholars, Bam, all these other artists, you know, that is a different type of education. We have kids listening to the music, but the content, the lyrics really explain a lot about who they are, what their identity is about, and I think that it's so important. We always tell our kids, our youth and students that don't ever let anybody tell your stories. You know, otherwise they're going to tell it for you, and you know where that ends up at. You know, it paints a different picture. So I think that is very important to really have artists that are in the Filipino community to really help educate and articulate our stories.
So what hip-hop means to Filipino culture and Filipino history, I think like when me and Nate were growing up, like, and even till today, like when Nate was talking about we didn't have like a Filipino history class or Filipino American history class, no ethnic studies. So what those forms of hip-hop, graph writing, b-boying, b-girling, turntablism, MCing, that was like, since we were absent from a culture that never was passed down to us in terms of history, that platform served as a way to culturally produce what it meant to be Filipino American. Because growing up, like that one documentary, I thought I was the only one about the DJing one. And I remember when I was like in 8th grade, and some of my friends that are DJs would have like recordings of like before they were called Rocksteady Crew, but like scratch pickles. Yeah. And like, whoa, what? Because this Filipino guy just cleaning slate on a whole turntabling scene. And they were doing stuff on a turntable that I've never seen before. And one of the DJs, I forgot what DJ he's saying, but like you can go to any place in the world and a Filipino, you bet your bottom dollar that there's a Filipino that's going to be DJing because they see that. You are what you see, you are what you read. And I think that's what hip-hop has done for our culture, like Filipino American history, Filipino American culture. It gave us a cultural platform to be expressive and articulate who and what we are about. And it was a form of resistance that what hip-hop did for people of color as a form of resistance and as a platform to talk about our struggles and survival stories. That's what hip-hop is about. It's a form of expression, resistance, struggle and survival stories. And I think I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for hip-hop. It's not just like, oh, that's something I did when I was a kid. Hip-hop has transformed my life in different ways. And I think that's what people, that I think amongst my peers, like my friends that don't do what I do, that's what they think. It's like, oh, yeah, I did that hip-hop thing 20 years ago. Yeah. But to me, I don't think that hip-hop is just a thing. Hip-hop is a way of life.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.